Greetings fellow ukuleleans, Jeff Weinberger coming at you here with a new tutorial. I'd like to talk about a good old song called Greenfields. It's from 1960 and the Four Brothers did it. There was a huge folk movement in the late 50s, early 60s, and this was kind of a real clean cut, straight ahead folk tune. It wasn't the kind of rough and tumble, rugged blues and folk that was going on at the time. It really fit into the mainstream, and this was a very popular genre, this really clean-cut American folk, oftentimes with four men singing harmony. And later on, got a little bit different. Peter, Paul, and Mary, Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, folk really, evolved after that. But this is that early 60s period where folk started appealing to young people. It started becoming kind of an alternative to the rock and roll, the rowdy Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis type stuff that was going on at the time. This was a more quiet, subdued, safe kind of music. But this particular tune, Greenfields, very beautiful. It has very easy chords. I'll go over them first. A minor, D minor, and that change, A minor to D minor, there's no reason to lift your second finger, by the way. Just keep it on the second fret of the G string like you have for A minor already, and just add your other two fingers. So that A minor to D minor chord change will sound smoother and be actually easier, less effort if you do it that way, instead of lifting. And by the way, speaking of the chords in this tune, there are many wrong versions on the internet. I looked at some of them and thought I could just pretty much play the tune from one of those song sheets. So I won't name specific sites, but the most famous one, the one that comes up when you do a Google search for the chords of a song, the one. It's wrong. There's a bunch of wrong ones. I don't think a single one's right out of all the versions. So I kind of sat down and really worked hard and transcribed this by ear. By the way, the four freshmen, not four freshmen, but the Four Brothers, that's the name of the group, they did it in B minor. They probably put capos on their guitars. But we're going to do it in A minor. We're going to take their version and transpose it down a whole step, just to make it more ukulele friendly. But if you have a higher voice, you might want to push it up a whole step into B minor, and that's the key they did it in. So we did the first two chords. We did A minor, we did D minor, then it goes A minor, E7. So here's the whole intro, and I'll show you that picking pattern in a second. But let's do A minor, D minor, A minor, E7 for our intro. That's roughly what they do on their guitars before they start singing the verse. We'll go further into the song and learn the verse and the chorus with all those chords. But let's take a brief time out here to talk about the time signature, to talk about the feel of this song. It's in 6/8. It has a slow 2 feel. It sounds like it's 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's kind of important to know how to feel the song like that. It on top of that, though, with that picking and strumming and everything, it's indeed in 6/8, just like House of the Rising Sun. In fact, that intro sounds like House of the Rising Sun. That's an awful lot like House of the Rising Sun, just with a slight different feel. So 6/8 time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can think of it as those 6 little beats, or you can think of it as 2 big beats. 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's exactly how I do it. I find it to be too much work and too frantic to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a lot of work. I would get tuckered out if I did that. But if I just go 1, 2, 1, 2, I can maintain that for a whole song, no problem, and stay relaxed, and it's all easy. So that's how I suggest you do it, but you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if you prefer. It's up to you. So let's talk about that picking pattern. To do a nice, easy 6/8 picking pattern, we do thumb on the G. Of course, I have my low G here, but high G sounds great too. Our index on the C, our middle on the E, and our ring on the A. And then we just do 2 more notes to add up to 6. So we have our E string again with our middle, and our C string with our index. So we get 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So there's your picking. And then strumming wise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was really emphasizing 4 there. You could hear an accent. So I was hitting kind of the strings closer to me softly, 1, 2, 3. But then on 4, I hit the strings further away from me, the brighter strings, harder. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a good basic 6/8 strum if you have never played 6/8 time. More sophisticated one would add upstrokes. If you're not into that, stick with just down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you can do that relaxed feel where you're only thinking about 2 beats. 1, 2, 1, 2. And to really emphasize that second beat, like they do in this song on their guitars, they really hit that second beat much harder and make it emphasized. You can make it short. You can not only do it harder, but you can do it short and sharp by muting it. My right hand just covers the strings, easy as that. And that silences them and leaves space between that chord and the next chord. So emphasizing things can be hitting them harder, it can be making them shorter or longer, in this case shorter, or both, which is how it goes in this song. You're doing it loud and short. That technique, that accenting technique, that's a hallmark of a lot of kinds of music, whether it be soul, R&B, guitar playing, Cornell Dupree and Steve Cropper and those guys. It could be reggae, could be a lot of different styles of music, but you're really whacking away at that second beat. 1, 2, 1, 2. Gives your music so much more excitement, so much more energy. Instead of being just monotonous and flatline, it gives it some life and some real feel to it. Alright, so now that we've talked about the picking and the strumming and the time signature, let's get into the verse. So it goes A minor, D minor, A minor, E7. Now we repeat that. A minor, D minor, A minor, E7. Here's the chorus. F, G, C, A7, D minor, G7. First time you saw that in the song. A minor, E7. And then they kind of, this goes out of the song. I would call this perhaps still the chorus. You could also call it a verse, but we won't quibble about that. We'll just call it the third part of the song. And it goes A minor, D minor, A minor, E7. Last line is F, A minor, sorry, F, A minor, D minor, E7. I had jotted down the chords from an internet site, which shall go unnamed, but you all know it. And I then crossed out what I thought was wrong and scribbled in my own notes as to what I thought was right. So sorry about that little misreading there, but indeed that chord should have been A minor. So F, A minor, D minor, E7 is how that first time around of the song ends. And so we just repeat this form over and over. The intro is really just once, but then it's verse, chorus for the rest of the song. So the verse is, let's practice it together. 1, 2, here we go. I'll do that again. Chorus. Second half of the chorus. tune. It has very common chords in it. It's not too terribly hard of a strum or a time feel. A good song for you to add to your repertoire. Nice old folk song from 1960, Greenfields. Alright, ukulele people, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned a lot. Be sure to subscribe, be sure to like, click that notify bell, and I will make a little song sheet available to you with just the chords. I'm not going to write out the lyrics or anything, but if you really want, I can point you in the right direction. I'll give you a link to one of those song sheets that has the lyrics, but unfortunately the chords are a little wrong. So if you take my chords and their lyrics, put them together, you got the right stuff. Alright, fellow ukuleleans, you take care. Bye-bye.